We're going for a hike.
That one preparing the backpack is me, Carolina. I have been part of these videos, but I don't think I introduced myself. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you a bit about my story and why I decided to become a psychologist and ultimately create this YouTube video. Let's get started pretty far back. I was born in the country of Uruguay in 1990. My mom back then was a massage therapist and my dad an electrician. I grew up in a tiny house in the back of my grandparents' house. When I grew up a little, my mom used to work many hours as a massage therapist. And so I wouldn't feel lonely, I would knock on her door and she would let me in, and I could just hang out in that room. Usually I would hide under the massage table, of course, full consent of the person being massaged, and play with my farm animals and Barbies or whatever I was using to play them. It was in those moments that I first started to get acquainted with therapy talk. That started it all. Fast forward from my childhood to high school, and I started having a lot of problems. I became depressed, I couldn't sleep, and I experienced a lot of bullying in school. Also, in my family, there were a lot of mental health problems coming up, like addiction and depression and codependency. So I started to get curious about how the mind would work. And I remember when I was 18 and I was talking to a friend, he would tell me, oh yeah, I have this friend that is always dating the wrong guys because her father abandoned her. And I was like, is that connected? Like, how is that connected? I was fascinated by the fact that our history can almost determine our future if we leave it unchecked. So after that, I decided to study psychology, and I went to the university, studied for 5 years, and graduated as a clinical psychologist. I started my own private practice, and I got a lot of clients, started working, and continued my education to get certified as a CBT therapist. By the way, this is my boyfriend, Julian. He's the sweetest, kindest person I know, and he's incredibly supportive. He's helping me record everything and handles a lot of the tech side. So shout out to my baby.
Doggo? Hey. Hello. Hola. Hola. You speak Spanish? Hey.
So back to it. As I was sitting with people in my private practice and listening to their childhood and the problems that they had, I realized that working one-on-one, even though it was fascinating and I was learning so much for every person I was working with, it felt like it didn't have a huge impact. I wanted to reach more people. I wanted to reach bigger groups of people. I came across with the idea of being a speaker, so I started dreaming. But I didn't take any action just yet. The years passed and I started to feel, again, pretty uneasy. That's when I decided to move to the Netherlands. I wanted to study a master's and the Netherlands had quite a few that were in English, so why not? Why not making the move? Well, I already had established a life in Uruguay and I was 27 years old, almost 28. But I was ready to make a big shift and start from scratch. So I moved to the Netherlands in January 19th of 2019. And that's when I realized so many interesting things, not just about traveling, but also about myself. Because a lot of the patterns that I was repeating and struggling with in Uruguay stayed with me as I was traveling. So I studied my mind, and I also got in a course for becoming a coach. All of this happened until 2022. And then, with my boyfriend, Julian, we decided that we wanted to travel the world, become digital nomads. So, starting 2022, in January, we moved to Thailand. And since then, we haven't had a fixed address for more than 3 months. I love traveling because every country that I visit feels like it unlocks a new part of myself. So after about a year of traveling, I decided to go back to my old dream of becoming a speaker. Though the last 6 months have been all about that. All about speaking in every place that I can stand up with a mic and tell people about psychology. And as a part of the plan of speaking and reaching more people, this YouTube channel was born, because it's one thing to talk to people in an auditorium, and it's another thing to talk to people when they're chilling in their house and they're just open to learn a little bit about psychology. Ultimately, this is the reason why I create videos and why I speak, because I want to reach as many people as I can and empower them to listen to their inner wisdom. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And if you want to walk together, hit the subscribe button and we can stay in touch.